Hey everybody, I'm just trying the extended version of my thoughts. So this is a longer elaboration of things from what Instagram does. So thank you if this is interesting to you. Give me feedback if it's not. This is going to be very poor in terms of filming off my phone, um, using a poor background, and I'm just gonna just talk, and it's going to be a little more natural. Uh, A lot more pauses, stutters. Might not seem like I know what I'm doing, but testing this out. So thank you for doing it with me. But this week I wanted to talk about security and privacy. And so I just found it very interesting. I started on Monday, I'm finishing today on Friday, and the topic is just like how much we give away and how much we give away freely. Um, and it's scary. And we can be a little more clever about it. We can put our foot down in certain areas. We don't have to be so naive or just carefree. And I'm not saying this in the sense that it's supposed to be like a downer or a buzzkill, but it's just like I do steps that allow me to have more fun and still be safe about it. And so, the topic started with like, what is security to you? And the idea is, well, what is it? Is it just locking your door? Do you want to have the camera on your doorbell so when you're not home, somebody knows? Is it a gated community? Um, Digitally, is it just having your securities on, your security settings on private? Is that what it is? How much of it is that, information that you're giving away? We willy-nilly, with a profession, with a business, we don't care. We just give away urine samples, our social security and all that, and that's so we can get the job. That's the exchange. It gets scary because then it becomes we give away information for Facebook. Uh, we give away information for apps that just are to help us, make our photos look pretty and stuff like that. And so that's where my biggest concerns become is it all kind of stemmed from the one app where it's like you can look old, and they're saying that the app came from Russia and blah blah blah. And I'm going to try to stem away from things that are more on the paranoid things and just kind of give you more of a kind of let's use our brain, let's use a little logic. uh, you know, Facebook does tons of questions where it's like, if you want to know what your spirit animal is, you just have to, give us, just answer these few questions like, oh, what's your favorite color? Oh, where do you like to hang out? What foods do you like to eat? And the next thing you know, it's like, cool, just to find out I'm a goat. That's my spirit animal. I'm going to be looking at my notes a lot too. But it's just, we give away so much, and it gets me thinking about what world we want to create. And so it's like, okay, we'll live in a world called, Minority Report. Do we want everything to be eye scanned, for the convenience? Okay, now I can ignore all these buzzing words, hey, Jeff, would you like to buy this? Would you like to buy that? And I could just ignore it as I keep walking through the mall. And that's Minority Report. They had a scene like that. We could do it like Gattaca, that old film, and do a blood sample every day, just a blood sample to prove who we are. And it's just, if those things are extreme, my point is that we're in the middle of getting there. And we have two paths to take. We could either say no or yes. I'm going to be very rude and see if this is still recording. Looks like it. Because I don't know what technology, and I don't know what this phone can do. But and so it's just like, well, what kind of world do you want to live in? And for me, what I would like for you, which I've mentioned before, is like I want us to be as independent as possible, be in a more small town vibe in the sense that we know who our neighbors are, we know what our city wants, I'll always promote going to your city council and stuff like that. But we're not so much in this world or mentality where it's like, I trust this business to do what they want and to just give me a product out of convenience, which is another topic I'll be talking about. A lot of these businesses sell you something with the notion of convenience. To get into it, I saw a commercial where a guy's lounging in his chair and he looks rich and he looks like he's just enjoying life, and a little beam goes off on his phone, and he just kind of slowly gets up, he looks at it, the phone turns on because it reads his eye, and it's just BS. And then he goes back to sleep ignoring the text messages, and we're supposed to be like, cool, we don't have to touch your phone, we just have to look at it. And to me, I'm just kind of going, I don't know how many people are so busy with their lives that picking up a phone is like too intense. They have to like look at it, oh, blah, blah. I could see it being beneficial if you're like tied up and somehow the killer put the, phone next to you and you're like blinking and hoping to talk to them and stuff. But it's just like, we have to remember on the day to day, we're not that intense. We're not that crazy. Our lives, they sell a product for the masses, not for the ones that are actually that busy, because then they wouldn't make any money. So for the masses, we're not really doing much. I say that just because of what the products we see out there. It's people are just dicking around most of the time, and it just cracks me up because we take that convenience and we're so seduced by it, and we're just like, oh my god, this technology is awesome. Now all I have to do is look at it. I saw another video and I didn't fully watch it, but the concept was this guy's asleep and his crazy girlfriend takes his phone, opens his eye, and then goes into the bathroom, locks the door, and he's all freaking out because I'm assuming the video's about him being a player and now he's busted. But the interesting part about the video is morality, and it was like, was she in the right or was she in the wrong? And I'm just kind of going, oh, okay, this is the world. But it still goes into my concepts of privacy and security. We give up so much, and it's like, what's wrong with a password? What's wrong with a crazy hard password? It takes a few seconds to just record it and blah blah blah. It just kills me that or not record it. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone and think that way. It just takes a few seconds to punch it in and it's all up here. So you don't have to like, give your fingerprint to your phone. You don't have to give your retina scan to your phone. And those are the types of conveniences that aren't important to me. Because I try to time my life accordingly, where it's like, well, I give myself enough time to get to a place. For example, there's a company called Clear that wants that their only marketing ploy is that they want to give you convenience. Oh, Johnny, had to use his ID his whole life, and that was just so annoying. And so just scan into our machine and we'll let you go in. And so that was, they're pitching airports and stadiums. And I'm just kind of going, okay, well, for an off topic, this just proves my point why stadiums are getting too big and too ridiculous, but I won't get into that. Airports I can kind of see just because it's a madhouse and that's going to take a long time before we have regulations or control with that. But it's just like, just arrive somewhere on time. Like, that's what I'm saying, is you don't have to give a drop of blood. You don't have to do a Minority Report eye scan. You don't have to do all these things. You just have to show up on time. And I understand that there's things here and there that won't allow that, and hiccups and all those mistakes, and you don't want to miss a flight. But it's just like, that's what I'm saying, people. You want to give up so much security, so much of you, just so that you can get through an airport line quicker. That's weird to me. And I want to say it in a weird way where it's weird. It's weird because you can't you can't get your life together in so many ways that you want to do this, and the reason why I say it like that is just because if we've done certain things the way in the past before and it's fine, accept technology, but then also don't let it be like the defining factor in your life. And so I don't know if that was clear, but it's just like the idea is don't give up so much, and not in such a paranoid sense, but just understand that everything does have like a butterfly effect. And this is kind of like my meat and potatoes. My thesis is like, I did a post a couple years ago where I talk about how to eliminate theft drastically, but you won't do it. And it was this quick video, and the idea was like, if you don't dress with brand names, if you don't put so much value into everything, like gold is so precious and diamonds are so precious, and this necklace is worth 10 grand. And if you don't do that, as hard as it is and as crazy as I may sound right now, it reduces theft, and it'll reduce theft for you, and it'll reduce theft for everyone. And the idea is Mr. JK Thief won't steal from you if he thinks you're a bum. And I'm not saying dress like a bum, but I'm saying, like, well, why the $5,000 Gucci bag? And I get why, people really get off on, oh, I'm better than you, ha ha ha, and this is pennies, it means nothing to me. But it's just when you kind of go beyond that, it's boring. And it's really boring, and it's really cyclical, and you just realize how many decades have we done it. Even before I was alive, it was just the same, like, cute dress, blah blah, and like, oh, I got robbed, somebody took my purse, somebody took this, and it's just kind of going, God, like, you could solve this so much just, just by not caring, that it says Gucci, or and I'm not trying to crap on the product, sorry. But it's just like, I don't care. I don't care what you wear. I care about you. I care about the human being. If you're rich, you don't need the clothing. Usually you can do something really crazy that's like, dang, I don't have the money to do that. It doesn't have to be clothing. These separations are insane. Uh, the the cycle, the butterfly effect, is just like, we are creating a madhouse. We are creating the Minority Report. We're creating this Gattaca, by doing, oh, I want to live this first class life, this first world life, and we lose our roots. And so then it just becomes like, okay, well, you want to do this, but now you don't want to get robbed. You don't want to feel unsafe in that neighborhood. So you make the people put in cameras everywhere just so you can wear your expensive purse or carry it. And now we have like tons of cameras on every business and stuff like that, just every street, watching us, making sure that nobody robs us. And it's because these people want to rob things that have value. They want to break into things that have value. So, I go back to like being a homeowner or so, or even just having a place. It's like, if you don't have crap to steal, they won't steal from you. Like, it just bothers me that it's like, I'm gonna invest all my money into like gold and jewelry and all these things because we grew up, being taught that those are things. And it's just like, come on. Now we brag about it on social media. Yeah, going to this expensive place, look at my expensive car, look at my children online, blah blah, and like, hashtag, and this is my location. And you're just kind of going, cool, now Mr. Pedophile Thief over there knows what your kids look like, knows what kind of car you drive, even if you're not showing the license plate. It's just a madhouse. And it's like, I want to stress enough, I can't stress enough, where it's like, I understand having the Rolls Royce and all the things where it's like, cool, and somebody's gonna look at you, and I understand the business tactics. If you look like a rich person, then people will treat you like such, and then you'll become one, and blah. I get it. But we're losing touch with just basic things that make life simpler, and we're making many things more complicated when they don't have to be. And it just, like I said, I'm going to be repeating, I'm going to kind of ramble and whatnot, but these are just to like prove my points. It's just that you can do it. You can live, without this cycle that we're going through. We can do a mesh of being, with our roots, being the hippie or nature, with technology. We're an everyday folk. We don't need fingerprints to open our phone. We can punch it in. Like, I'm already second guessing like what's recording off my phone right now, just because it's like, is the government, well, and I'm not saying that in a paranoid sense, but I'm trying to be aware of it. All right, still recording. Cool. And I'm gonna wrap this up. Just to prove my point, I'm going to go through my notes because, wow, I talked for 14 minutes. And if you sat through the whole thing, thank you so much. This is a test. It'll get better eventually. I hope my points got through enough, because I'm not sure. People I was gonna give anecdotes, different stories of how, you know, people like a guy went on a first date and with a person I know, and looked her up before their date, and he thought that was a romantic gesture, and I'm just kind of going, that's insane, and she thought that was insane too, but or you know, and I understand it because you could, and it's like a business where it's like I just want to be as knowledgeable as possible and I just want to know what she likes and all that. But like that's my point. That's how much information is out there, and we just willy nilly let it. We just keep giving out more and more. We all have our accounts. I have my social accounts, and they just like they all have pieces of our lives in it. And it's cool that we get to connect with strangers and do all these things, but it's not cool in the sense that we're a little too open to it. We're a little too accepting to it, without questioning how drastic or the escalation that could come from it. Um, and that's where I just want to. That's what this whole video is about. And I'm gonna stop talking because I think I've made it clear. The biggest thing is that there is a butterfly effect, if that's the correct effect. But there is an escalation. You dress simple, people will, you know, it'll become a thing, you know, and we can get rid of these status quos. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm doing this and now I'm sacrificing. No, what we're doing is we're taking control and creating a way of life. And if we live in a world where it's like, oh my God, I don't know what that person's wealth is walking on the street, fine. Like that can be normal. That could be normal that I don't see somebody with these expensive shoes or, you know, or I just don't know a whole lot about them. Like I actually have to converse with them. I mean, that's another topic I want to get into is technology and humans and how we lose that interaction. But it's also like we don't have to spell everything out for somebody, you know? Having a normal conversation where it's like, oh, cool, I know, hey, what is it you like? Hey, what are these things? Instead of just like kind of living in this world where it's like, oh wow, look at that person. They're rich. They got a nice old purse and blah blah. And then we start thinking nice objects, and then you know some thief or some shyster wants to like rob you and follow you back to your car, and you know we can have like a regular world where not everything has to be branded and given away so freely. Um, yeah, if the product is free, then you're the product. Yeah, I understand that. Um, so yeah, come back, like, you know, I don't want to say come down to earth, that sounds patronizing, but it's like come back down, you know, realize brands are silly. They do create escalation, you know, people then see you as a target. It becomes a safety factor, your privacy of giving away your face, your retina, your fingerprint, that all becomes something, something more. And like, yeah, we could live in a world where it's just all out there and fine. But if we want to hold on to something where it's like, if we enjoy privacy, if we're like, hey, I want to go to this place and not be bombarded by people, then yeah, we want privacy to a degree. And we have to start with like little things, things that we can control. And we can control that by controlling the prices of things, by not buying the hip stuff and the expensive stuff, to try to truly understand what a product's worth is. And by doing so, we understand what, you know, our worth is, and that we don't put ourselves out into a target factor. If we refuse to buy these certain items, then you know the value goes down and thieves won't attack us. And I say this out of concern for, as you know, being for the parents out there, and for just your own safety. You want to you, you want to be able to enjoy life, and these simple things will help you in your security. You know, just to to question everything. And to do it in a fun sense. But anyway, this is my first video. I rambled, I talked a lot. I'm sure you guys are like, oh God. But I appreciate it. I'm going to turn it off, and hopefully I can elaborate further with other stuff. This is the first of many. Thank you.